Sarah thought she had it all figured out, 28 years of marriage, a beautiful home in Connecticut, to kids through college, a comfortable retirement plan with her husband. Then, at age 54, everything changed. Her divorce wasn't just emotionally devastating, it financially destroyed her. Within 1 year, Sarah's standard of living dropped by 45%. She went from a comfortable two-income household earning $180,000 a year to living on less than $40,000. She had to move out of her home, restart her career after 20 years, and watch her retirement dreams disappear. Sarah's story isn't unique, it's the new normal. If you're over 50 and facing divorce, or even just considering it, the next 20 minutes could save you hundreds of thousands of dollars and protect your retirement future. I'm going to show you exactly how grey divorce destroys retirement savings, the specific legal documents you need to protect your 401k, and the financial moves you must make right now, whether you're the one initiating the divorce or not. Because here's what most people don't know. Grey divorce has tripled since the 1990s. 1 in 3 divorces today involves someone over 50, and women who go through grey divorce face nearly twice the poverty rate of those who stay married. This isn't clickbait. This is your financial survival guide. Let's get started. Chapter 1. The Grey Divorce Crisis. First, let's talk about what's actually happening in America right now. Grey divorce after age 50 has exploded. Since 1990, the divorce rate for Americans 50 and older has more than doubled, and for those at 65 and older, it's tripled. Think about that. While younger people are getting divorced less, older Americans are splitting up at unprecedented rates. In 2026, 36% of all divorces in the United States involve people age 50 or older. That's more than 1 in 3. And if you're between 55 and 64, you have the highest divorce rate of any age group, 43%. So why is this happening? For main reasons. 1. People are living longer. If you're 65 today, you can expect to live another 20 years. That's a long time to stay in an unhappy marriage. As one divorce researcher said, 20 years is a long time to spend with someone you're just not into anymore. 2. The kids are gone. Empty nest syndrome is real. Couples who stayed together for the kids no longer have that reason. Once the last child graduates college, many realize they have nothing left in common. 3. Women's financial independence. Women today are more likely to have careers and their own retirement savings than previous generations. This makes divorce more financially feasible, though still devastating, as we'll see. 4. Social acceptability. The stigma of divorce has dramatically decreased. Your grandparents' generation would stay in miserable marriages because that's what you did. Today's baby boomers don't accept that. But here's the brutal reality that nobody talks about. Grey divorce is financially catastrophic, especially for women. Research from Bowling Green State University, published in the Journals of Gerontology, found that women's standard of living drops 45% following grey divorce. Men's drops 21%, still significant, but nowhere near as devastating, and it gets worse. For women who divorce after 50, the poverty rate is nearly twice as high as women who divorced earlier in life. So if the financial stakes are this high, what exactly happens to your money? Let's break down the 4 biggest threats to your retirement savings. Chapter 2. The 4 retirement killers. When you divorce after 50, you're facing massive financial threats that younger divorcing couples don't deal with. Threat number 1. You're dividing decades of accumulated wealth. A 55-year-old couple who married at 25 has been building wealth together for 30 years. That's 3 decades of 401k contributions and growth. IRA investments, home equity appreciation, pensions vesting, Social Security credits accumulating. All of that gets divided. Your $800,000 in combined retirement savings becomes $400,000 each. Your $500,000 home equity becomes $250,000 each. Suddenly, you're starting over with half the retirement wealth you planned on. Threat number 2. You have no time to rebuild. If you divorce at 30, you have 35 years to recover financially before retirement at 65 if you divorce at 55. You have 10 years, maybe 15 if you work longer. Let's do the math. If you lose $400,000 in a divorce settlement at age 55, how much can you rebuild in 10 years? Even if you're saving aggressively $20,000 per year and earning 7% returns, you'll only recover about $276,000. You're still down $124,000. And that's if you can save $20,000 per year, which brings us to threat number 3. Threat number 3, income disruption, especially for women. Many women in their 50s and 60s have been out of the workforce for years or even decades. They stayed home to raise kids or supported their husband's career by managing the household. Now they're 54 and divorced and need to find work after 20 years out of the job market. As one woman told Fortune magazine, "I was 54 years old. People were not clamoring to hire me." Even women who kept working often earn less due to the persistent wage gap. According to the National Council on Aging, older women receive $4,500 less per year in Social Security benefits than men, partly due to lower lifetime earnings. Threat number 4, your expenses just doubled before divorce. One household, one mortgage or rent, one set of utilities, shared car insurance, combined grocery bills. After divorce, 2 of everything, according to a Government Accountability Office report to the Senate Special Committee on Aging. A single person aged 65 or older needs 79% of the income of a 2-person household to maintain the same standard of living. In other words, you need almost as much money living alone as you did living together, but now you only have half the income. This is why 20% of divorced women over 65 live in poverty, compared to married or widowed women. The financial math of grey divorce is brutal. So now you understand why grey divorce is so financially devastating. The question is, what can you actually do about it? Let's talk about protecting your biggest asset, your 401k. Chapter 3, Protecting your 401k and IRA. Your 401k and IRA are probably your largest assets besides your home. Protecting them requires understanding one critical legal document, the QDRO. QDRO stands for Qualified Domestic Relations Order, and if you're divorcing and either spouse has a 401k or pension, you absolutely must have one. Here's why. Normally, you cannot take money out of someone else's 401k. It's protected by federal law. But in a divorce, a QDRO is the only legal way to divide a 401k or pension without triggering massive taxes and penalties. Let me give you a real example. Michael, age 56, has a 401k worth $650,000 from his 30-year career as an engineer. Jennifer, age 54, worked part-time and has only $120,000 in her own IRA. They're divorcing after 28 years of marriage. Without a QDRO, Jennifer gets nothing from Michael's 401k. With a properly executed QDRO, the court can award Jennifer half of the marital portion, potentially $325,000 or more. Here's what a QDRO must include. First, names and addresses of both the account holder and the person receiving funds, called the alternate pay. Second, the exact retirement plan name. You can't just say 401k. You need the specific plan document name from the employer. Third, the dollar amount or percentage being transferred. Be very specific. Half of the account isn't good enough. You need 50% of the account balance as of the date of separation or similar precise language. Fourth, how and when payments will be made. Critical mistakes people make with QDROs. Mistake 1, waiting too long to file. Some people finalize their divorce and then think about the QDRO. Wrong. The QDRO should be drafted before the divorce is finalized. Why? Because once the account holder retires or changes jobs, dividing the account becomes much more complicated. Mistake 2, not getting it approved by the plan administrator. Here's the process. Your attorney drafts the QDRO, a judge signs it. But that's not enough. The the 401k plan administrator must also approve it. This can take 3 to 18 months. I'm not kidding, 18 months. That's why you start this process immediately, not after the divorce is final. Now, here's good news. IRAs are much simpler. You do not need a QDRO to divide an IRA. Why? Because IRAs aren't covered by the same federal law, ERISA, that governs 401ks. For IRAs, you just need something called a transfer incident to divorce in your divorce decree. The IRA custodian, Vanguard, Fidelity, whoever, simply transfers the agreed-upon amount to a new IRA in your ex-spouse's name. Quick summary. 401ks and pensions need a QDRO, complex process, takes months. IRAs, no QDRO needed, simpler, faster. Both can be divided without taxes or penalties if done correctly. But here's the nightmare scenario. If you divide a 401k or IRA without proper legal documentation, the IRS considers it a taxable distribution. You could pay 30% to 40% in federal taxes and penalties on money that should have been transferred tax-free. On a $300,000 transfer, that's $90,000 to $120,000 lost to taxes and penalties. Money you'll never get back. All right, we've covered retirement accounts. But there's another massive asset that causes even more arguments in grey divorce. Your house. Let's talk about it. Chapter 4. The house decision. In almost every grey divorce I've researched, there's one question that causes more stress than any other. What do we do with the house? And the answer is not what most people think. Let's say you and your spouse own a home worth $600,000 with a $200,000 mortgage. That's $400,000 in equity, potentially $200,000 for each of you if you sell. But many people, especially women, want to keep the family home. The emotional attachment is powerful. It's where you raised your kids, where you built memories. Your neighborhood, your friends. Here's the brutal financial reality. Keeping the house in a grey divorce is usually a terrible financial decision. Think about what keeping a $600,000 house actually costs. Mortgage payment, let's say $2,500 per month. Property taxes, maybe $8,000 per year, that's $667 per month. Homeowners insurance, $2,400 per year, $200 per month. Maintenance and repairs, rule of thumb is 1% of home value annually, that's $6,000 or $500 per month. Utilities, $300 to $500 per month. Total monthly cost to keep a $600,000 house, $4,000 to $4,400 per month, or $48,000 to $53,000 per year. Now, remember what we said earlier. After grey divorce, women's income drops 45%. If you were living on $100,000 household income, you are now at $55,000. Can you afford $50,000 per year just for housing? The math doesn't work. But here's the alternative. Sell the house. Split the $400,000 equity. You get $200,000. With that $200,000, you could buy a smaller condo for $280,000 with an $80,000 mortgage. Invest the remaining $120,000 for retirement. Dramatically reduce your monthly housing costs to maybe $2,000 per month. Suddenly you've freed up $2,000 plus per month, protected your retirement savings, and eliminated the stress of maintaining a large home alone. Now, are there times when keeping the house makes sense? Yes. You're already 70 and don't want to move in your final years. You have a reverse mortgage and minimal housing costs. You're receiving enough alimony to truly afford it. You have significant income from work or investments. But for most people in grey divorce, keeping the house is an emotional decision that leads to financial disaster within 3 to 5 years. All right, we've covered retirement accounts and the house, the two biggest assets. Now let's talk about something that terrifies everyone in grey divorce: healthcare. Chapter 5. Healthcare and Social Security. If you're divorcing before age 65, healthcare is probably keeping you up at night, and for good reason. The day your divorce is finalized, you lose access to your spouse's employer health insurance. Gone. You're on your own. You have 3 options. Option 1. COBRA. This lets you keep your ex-spouse's employer insurance for up to 36 months. The catch: you pay the full premium plus a 2% administrative fee. For family coverage that your spouse's employer was paying $18,000 per year for, you might now pay $1,500 to $1,800 per month for 3 years maximum. Option 2. Healthcare.gov Marketplace. You buy individual insurance based on your income. If your income drops significantly after divorce, you might qualify for subsidies. But if you received significant assets in the settlement, those count against you. Option 3. Get a job with benefits. If you're under 65 and able to work, finding employment with health insurance is critical. If you're 65 or older, you qualify for Medicare regardless of divorce. That's one less worrying. Now let's talk about Social Security, because this is where grey divorce has a hidden benefit most people don't know about. If your marriage lasted at least 10 years, you can claim Social Security benefits based on your ex-spouse's earnings record, even if they remarry. You can receive up to 50% of your ex-spouse's full retirement benefit, and it does not reduce what they receive. They get their full amount, you get up to half. Both of you benefit. Important rules. Marriage must have lasted 10 years. You must be 62 or older to claim. You must be unmarried when you claim. Here's the strategy. If your ex-spouse earned significantly more than you over their lifetime, claiming on their record instead of yours could mean an extra $500 to $1,500 per month in retirement income. That's $6,000 to $18,000 per year over 20 years of retirement. That's $120,000 to $360,000 in additional lifetime income. All right, we've covered the big financial issues. Now let's talk about the team you need to survive grey divorce financially intact. Chapter 6. Building your financial team. Grey divorce is too complex and too expensive to handle alone. You need 3 specific professionals. Professional number 1. A divorce attorney who specializes in grey divorce. Not just any divorce lawyer. You need someone who understands complex retirement account division, pension valuation, QDRO drafting and approval, long-term alimony calculations, estate planning implications. Cost: $5,000 to $50,000 or more, depending on complexity and whether you litigate or mediate. Yes, it's expensive, but a bad divorce settlement could cost you $200,000 or more. This is not where you cut corners. Professional number 2, a certified divorce financial analyst, a CDFA. This is the secret weapon most people don't know about. A CDFA is a financial professional specifically trained in the financial aspects of divorce. They help you understand the true value of assets, not just face value. Model different settlement scenarios, calculate long-term tax implications. Project retirement income under various scenarios, determine if a settlement is truly fair. For example, your spouse offers you the $600,000 house in exchange for them keeping the $600,000 in for a 1K account. Sounds fair, right? Wrong. The house has capital gains taxes, maintenance costs, and illiquidity. The 401k has tax-deferred growth and flexibility. They're not equivalent. A CDFA shows you this before you agree to a bad deal. Cost: $3,000 to $10,000, worth every penny. Professional number 3, a CPA or tax professional. Grey divorce has massive tax implications. How will alimony be taxed? What are the capital gains on selling the house? How should you withhold taxes on retirement distributions? Should you file jointly for the final year? What's the impact of your filing status change? Getting tax strategy right could save you $20,000 to $50,000 or more over the first 5 years after divorce. Yes, hiring this team costs $8,000 to $60,000, but a bad grey divorce settlement costs $100,000 to $500,000 in lost wealth. You're making an investment in protecting your financial future. Alright, you now have the knowledge and know who to hire. Let me give you your week 1 action plan so you can start protecting yourself today. Your action plan. If you're facing grey divorce, here's exactly what to do this week. Action 1. Gather all financial documents. Bank statements, retirement account statements, tax returns for the past 3 years, mortgage documents, credit card statements, investment account statements, everything. Make copies. Store them somewhere safe outside your home, maybe a trusted friend or family member's house, or a safe deposit box. Action 2. Open your own bank account if you don't have one already. You need financial independence starting now, even if it's just a checking account with $100. Open it this week. Action 3. Check all retirement account beneficiaries. If your spouse is listed and you're heading toward divorce, you'll want to update these immediately after the divorce is final. Don't do it before, that could cause legal issues. Action 4. Interview at least 2 divorce attorneys who specialize in grey divorce. Ask specifically about their experience with QDROs and retirement account division. Don't hire the first one you talk to, shop around. Action 5. Find a certified divorce financial analyst. The Institute for Divorce Financial Analysts has a directory at institutedfa.com. Start researching CDFAs in your area this week. Look, I know this is overwhelming. Grey divorce is financially and emotionally brutal, but you can survive this. Thousands of people do every year and come out stronger on the other side. The key is knowledge and the right team. You now have the knowledge, go hire the team. If this video helped you, please hit the like button and subscribe to Midlife Money Method. I publish retirement and financial planning strategies specifically for people ages 40 to 70. Drop a comment below if you're going through this. I read every single one, and I'll try to answer your questions. And if you need more resources, check out the links in the description below. You've got this. I believe in you. See you in the next video.